Good evening. And let's see if it's working. It looks like the mic is working. Excellent. Ooh, so bright. As I was saying, good evening and welcome to the Sunday Scaries. And hello Hanapengu. Glad to see you are here with me in the chat, because I picked this game for you, because if I'm going to play a game and stream it, I want to get my most loyal viewer to be bought into it. So, hi. We're going to be playing Slay the Princess, created by Black Tabby Games and featuring the voice talents of Jonathan Sims and another person whose name I don't remember now, but who does the voice of the princess herself. But anyway, we have completed one run of Slay the Princess. Oh, Nicole Goodnight, thank you, yes. Jonathan Sims and Nicole Goodnight, excellent. We have completed one run of Slay the Princess on stream. We are now ready to begin another, and now I have a much better understanding of both how the game is played and what the deal with the game is. So we're going to see how that affects my choices going in. Hanapengu has been gracious enough to provide me with a guide, a cheat sheet, if you will, that I am pointedly going to ignore for this stream, but may keep in my mind for later. So, because I feel like it's more interesting if I am giving my earnest reactions from here. So hang on. It's true. Hanapengu made it themselves. All right. I don't think there's a new game plus, so I think it's just new game in this case. So let's go ahead and kick this off. Chapter 1. The Hero and the Princess.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Yes, Hanapengu, you are correct. It is extremely low spoiler, and it gives the names of the princess variants and all of that. Great for a first-time playthrough, but for a second-time playthrough, I kind of can see a lot of what's going on, and I want to try and figure it out on my own. So, because after all, that's really the only kind of challenge left in the game is kind of trying to guess which things are going to do what. So we're going to see how this goes. Anyway, narrator has said we're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin, and at the end of the basement of that cabin is a princess.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
The end of the world? What are you talking about?
The end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
But how can a princess locked away in a basement end the world? He asked as if he had not already played through once.
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
Oh dang, Hanapengu, you've already 100%ed this? Nice. Well done. Okay, yeah, so perhaps we shouldn't linger. We do have a job to do. But I'll go through these once, just because they're going to come back many times. Do you have any evidence to back this up?
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, you're into the Black Tabby Games stuff, and that's cool, and it's good. It gets you noticed by the devs and such. So, well done, Hanapengu. All right. So you say we're on the path that leads to the cabin. What if we're on the path that leads from the cabin? Do you ever consider that? Maybe I'm just starting out at my journey. Maybe it's a Fall Out Boy lyric, and this is the road to ruin, and we're starting at the end. Oh, hello, Artemisia. I did not think you'd be able to join us, but I'm so glad to see you here. All right. So, have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to Endo was because she's locked up? No, that's not the reason. Killing the princess seems kind of bad. Who cares about monarchy? Can't someone else do it?
Oh, if only that were the case. But I don't make the rules.
Don't you? I'm pretty sure you do make the rules. Who makes the rules if not you?
I have to say, I'm surprised at your reluctance thus far. But unfortunately for the both of us, you're the only one who can pull this off.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't make the rules, no matter how much I wish I did.
That's just a straight up lie. Have you considered that maybe I am okay with the world ending?
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end.
Oh, Hanapengu saying possibly a creative interpretation. That's some Obi-Wan Kenobi from a certain point of view level nonsense.
I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
But I don't like to feel good. I like to feel evil. I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs. Okay, let's see here. Do I get some sort of reward for doing this?
Yes, but you'll have to slay her before you get it.
Depression can be a hell of a drug. That is true, Artemisia. Always wanted to offer monarch. Viva la revolution! Oh, I imagine there's any number of different neurodivergences that would cause you to want the world to end. And indeed, when you think about it, probably a fair number of comic book supervillains can be diagnosed as having any one or more of these. And when you add into that capitalism and a flair for the dramatic and a couple of cool gadgets, you get a rogues gallery. But anyway. Let's silently continue to the cabin.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
Hang on.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Interesting to know that the hero is not you, which I always find very fascinating. But anyway, proceed into the cabin. Because if we're not the hero, then who are we?
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Alright, let's see if this time we're going straight for not killing the princess.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Hello.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Well, I forgot my knife, but I don't know. Alright, let's see what I can do. Let's examine the chains.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Whoever locked the princess away down here. Shane will never know who it was who did that. Or why. Well, if there isn't a key, do you have any other ideas?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains?
Hold on for one more day.
Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
Needle.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free.
Oh my gosh, is that a new, that's a new emote, Hanapengu. I love it. Is that in the thing because I resubscribed, so let me see here. It doesn't show me my emotes. Theoretically, I should have that one now, again. Anyway. I like the side eye. It's very good. Oh, it's for the tier 3 subscribers. Fair enough.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
Oh, Hanapengu, you should add that in your Discord servers. Because I think I would want to use it more in Discord than I would on Twitch. Just saying. Anyway, well, can't get out of the basement. Wonder why.
Is someone else here?
Is someone else here, narrator? Let me out. Let me out. This is not a dance. I'm begging for help. I'm screaming for help. Please come let me out.
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. I'll repeat myself once again. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
Try the door again.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
So I guess we go back to the bottom of the stairs.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom?
That's got a
Easier
point.
for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Yep, they sure did.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
But how do we do it?
She barely hesitates before raising
Whoa!
her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
Well, if it's gonna be a nightmare, let's make it a proper nightmare. Screen capped. Okay. No, I don't think I had seen. I don't think I had seen this path on a pengu.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal.
Oh, is there now a knife behind me?
It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
Yeah, it's funny how that could happen.
Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
I won't like what happens if I don't do that. I will save the princess this time.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place.
Couldn't use it to snap one of the links in the chain or anything like that, huh? Yikes.
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm.
Good. Now see, that I had seen before, and it's still unsettling now.
Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground.
Woof.
How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Approach the locked door.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world.
And who exactly are you, voice?
As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade. Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that.
If you could do that from the start, why did you... Oh, never
Watch
mind.
me.
What are you doing?
Stop that.
No, get out of the way.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect.
Good girl.
Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
I don't care what you're trying to do. Resist.
The blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
That's really more what I'm not doing, but anyway.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's the worst. This is the thing about being stabbed. This is the Nick Swatson routine. Because you're there the whole time. You're just like, oh, oh God, I just got stabbed. Oh, it's coming back.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake.
For her sake? Oh yeah, gotcha. Wrong voice.
For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. she sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
Yeah. I enjoy that he started that sentence with whatever.
I'm sorry.
Oh no. That's also a good image. Hang on. Is it F11? Nope. Here we go.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she?
Oh my god. There's a line from Snatch that comes to mind here, and I'm going to do my best to quote it. And my British accent is not going to be good for this, but I'll try my best anyway. It's a knife, Avi. What you been using to keep your folk company all these years? A sharp side, a blunt side? What, you want a lesson?
Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her knife work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks.
Ooh, that's poetic.
It can't just end like this, right?
It's pretty conclusive.
Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Chapter 2, The Damsel. Love a game where you die and then chapter 2 begins.
And at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
But I died. What am I doing here?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
Hell's horses. It's the Matt Berry voice. Everybody loves it.
Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works. We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
Yeah, let's just go to the cabin. But I am realizing now that there is an element to which, like, that sort of Matt Berry character is very much kind of the British answer to Zap Brannigan, and I find that very entertaining.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
I guess the difference is that the Smitten is is nowhere near self-absorbed enough, because Zap Brannigan can only truly love Zap Brannigan. But there's a bit of that same sort of delivery, I would say.
I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
That's a very Zap Brannigan thing.
I do. but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed. Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
Let's go into the cabin. What's it look like this time?
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant, its stone walls draped in fine-threaded tapestries, a prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
Except for that
The
mirror.
blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
And speaking of which, hey Hana Pengu, is there any ending that's affected by whether or not you interact with the mirror? Nah, okay. So we're gonna skip the mirror then in that case.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Also, it just seems like I have to bring it down there somehow anyway.
I suppose if we're to play the role of dashing knight, we need an equally dashing sword.
Haha!
That way she'll know we can defend her from her enemies.
Yes, quite.
Hopefully it doesn't put her on edge, and hopefully it doesn't get turned on us.
Again.
There's no use arguing over motivations right now. It's good that you took the blade. You'll need it to do your job.
Let's go into the basement. Let's all go to the basement. Let's all
The door
go
to the basement creaks
basement.
open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight.
Let's all go to the basement and let's save the princess. Alright, here we
But
go.
it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
You say that every time. What version of this is it not doing her a favor?
A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already. I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning.
Yeah, listen to the hero.
Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
She's wearing a nicer dress this time. And possibly a veil? I'm not sure.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
Thank you, Hana Pengu, for the clarification about the mirror.
You know she can't hear you, right?
Oh,
She
can't
may
she?
not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before.
That's right, villain, and you killed us.
Well, she killed us.
Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world, but everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else, and you can't keep hopping between worlds forever. especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible.
Horrible for you, maybe, but we've been given another opportunity to sweep her off her feet and treat her like the lady she is.
I like that optimism.
Now, hold on. If she actually ended a world, are you sure we want to do this? Are you sure we want to rescue her?
We never saw a world end, and now I'm even more certain that we must chase our heroic and romantic destiny than I've ever been. I shan't let anyone convince us otherwise.
He's even got the vibrato in his voice, like Matt Berry as Stephen Toast. It's very good.
Are you listening to him? He's lost it. Don't let him distract you. Just do your job.
All right. Yeah, world is never defined. It's true. One would think it's too big to need a definition, but let's rescue the princess.
Rescue her? What are you talking about? Did you forget that she's a world-ending monstrosity? And even if you wanted to unleash her onto the world, despite the complete moral disaster that would be, you'd have to get her out of those chains.
Good luck with that. Don't you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her out with ease.
No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains.
Oh, can't we?
If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already?
Because we've yet to present her with her freedom.
That's a dumb idea, but we'll go with it.
I'm not sure I follow. Would you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature? Or would you rather believe the devil on your shoulder who tells you what you can and cannot do?
I think I'd rather believe in facts.
I see, that's some liberal bias right there. Hey!
So you're one of those empiricists.
Yeah. You know, those people who believe in things that they can actually see and measure.
One of us has to be. Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator, we courageously step forward and free our beloved from her bindings.
Aha, so you can play that game.
No, I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the...
You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her?
Yes.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
You wouldn't.
Try me. What's the worst that can happen? I die?
I would.
I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it. But I guess I have to.
I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh.
Ha ha ha!
Are you sure you want to do this? Just one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade is buried in her back, and everyone out there is saved.
Are they?
Is that a threat?
You know what we'll do if you try it.
You're going to regret this.
What do we do now?
Good question. We haven't gotten this far before in this track, so let's say, what do you want to do?
Let me guess. End the world?
Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
How would I know?
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection. And then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
Male fantasy, perhaps. Well, I would like for you to tell me what you want.
I just want to make you happy.
Why?
She can't just want to make us happy.
Oh, I love the way the music turned there.
It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same for us.
Whoa, one of them is I want you to make me unhappy? That's intense. This isn't right. Let's just get out of here.
That sounds perfect.
As the princess takes your hand in hers, you let your blade tumble uselessly to the floor, and with it tumbles the last hope for the entire world.
Doesn't seem like it. Oh, look at how human my hand is looking there.
We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending. I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with.
It's true, there are still talons on the hand, Hanapengu, but
You and the princess
we've
walk
looked much
up the
worse.
stairs, hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this.
It's kind of funny.
And what happens after we walk up the stairs?
Yes, it's true, we are still a bird person, but she doesn't seem to mind.
Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks.
Yeah, how could that have
That's a
happened?
familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair. We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love.
So clearly now we Seki Ha love Tenkyo Ken and blast our way out of here, right?
Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her. Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known. Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice. I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Ha ha! Kick back, my friend. Do you think you can open it?
Well, I don't know. Do you think I can?
Of course she can. You believe in her, right? Nobody is leaving this basement.
I think we can open it if we try together.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door together.
Blech. This is great.
And the lock clicks and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me?
You've lost control.
I told you our love was insurmountable. You and the princess make your way upstairs. Her freedom and the world's ruin are just a few moments away. If you don't mind, I'm going to fix myself a drink before you ruin everything. If I'm about to see the end of the world, I'd rather not see it sober.
Cheers, buddy. Hang on. A little Foley for you. There we go. Okay.
That's the way out. We're going to leave together, just like you wanted.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin, and then you step outside.
Achievement unlocked. Romantic haze. Your love will set you free. Aw.
Our happy ending at last.
And nothing bad happened ever again.
We did it. What should we do now?
Where did everything go? Where did he go? Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into our beloved's eyes.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
Do you want a New England? Do you want an East Coaster's answer for that?
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
Ow! Uh-oh. It's the helping hands. But you don't get the chance to make that jacket. Something has taken her away, and it's left something else in her place.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
I don't know where she went, and I don't know how we'd even go about looking for her. No, that's not true. I think I'm supposed to look in the mirror.
There's something dreadful about it. I don't think you should.
Buddy, what am I gonna do? Sit around in the empty void forever and not look at the one object in it with me?
Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right?
I don't know. You wanted me to pluck all my feathers out. That could hurt a lot.
He is.
The narrator's gone.
Does that mean the world ended? A villain vanquished?
Approach the mirror.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
Ignore him. You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. It's you. Ah, hang on. Sorry. 1 second. Ah! You are alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, never mind. I thought I could actually just go back a screen. I cannot go back a screen. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
What are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
Solitary lights? What do you mean?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
I don't know what I am.
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
The gift of a fragile vessel?
Yes. Nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond. Perspectives to make my own. This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you, and she'll make for a gentle heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
Are you the princess?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
But were you always the princess, or are you just making her a part of yourself?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Do we know each other? Only, yeah, magic must defeat magic, Artemisia.
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
Do you know about the worlds beyond this place?
I know only that they are.
So what happens now?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
How much do I forget?
Everything, until we meet again.
And what if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now, unfinished, dry, hollow.
You can wait for an interminable long time. Nah, not gonna bother. Alright, make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Everything goes dark, and you die. A loving damsel, bring the damsel to her. Chapter 1, The
You're
Hero
on a
and the
path
Princess.
in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Well, these are all the same questions again. Viva la revolution. Thanks for
Don't
telling me what
mention
to do.
It's all part of the job. You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Proceed into the cabin. Oh, alright. Good night, Artemisia. I'm glad you were able to join us for part of the
The
time.
interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Now, hang on. I do actually want to check something on your list, Hanapengu, so give me one moment here. Alright. So I'm curious to see, in this run, a very different outcome. So let's try it out. So this time we're going to do Don't Take the Knife and Slay.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
Continue down the stairs.
Good. You're still listening to reason. It would be better if you had a weapon, but you may still be able to do what needs to be done. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be a threat to anyone?
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
Hold on, let's talk a bit first.
Okay.
Bunch of explorers. Okay, here we go. What are my choices? We'll just run through these. What's your name?
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if Your Royal Highness is too formal.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
Isn't Princess Princess a character in Adventure Time? So is Princess your name?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like. I'm sorry, I've been down here so long I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name though. Everyone has a name.
Okay, that's weird. She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade, and slay her before it's too late.
I don't know anything about you. For all I know, you're locked up down here for a reason.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason. I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
You'd hope.
You have all the explanation you need. You should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
Well, if I'm the first person you've been seeing in a while, what have you been eating or drinking or evacuating?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant.
Pretty relevant, actually.
Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
Well, I was sent here to slay you. You're apparently supposed to end the world. I'm starting to think it's true. There's something about you that doesn't feel right.
Would everything feel right about you if you were locked away in a hole by yourself for as long as you can remember?
Just how long has she been down here?
So, did they tell you why I'm supposed to be so dangerous?
Let's be the narrator's boy and say I've been told enough.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
They haven't shared a thing, have they? All they've done is point a finger. At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust. Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why.
And more importantly, how?
I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or Me saying the right thing to convince you to save me.
Oh, you'd think so.
This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about. Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I even want to? We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
Okay. I'm going to ask the audience on this one. Hanapengu, if I'm trying to go for the thorn, do I have to retrieve the blade? Is that how I do it from here? Save her and then not resist. For the thorn? Really? Because the thing was saying, don't take knife, slay princess, and then that gets you the witch / the opportunist. And then chapter 3 you can do give her the knife to get the thorn, according to what I saw in the thing that you made. Right. Alright, well, let's try this and we'll see how it goes. I'm sorry, but I just can't trust you. This doesn't add up, and it isn't worth the risk to take your word over the potential fate of the world. Retrieve the blade.
Thank you. You turn back to the stairs, intent on retrieving the blade in the cabin.
You'll regret this.
Ooh.
I promise you. But go ahead, run along and get whatever you're planning to get.
To return to my Maho Shoujo Madoka Magica references for this, this is the moment at which the little magical girl gem fills up to black and becomes a grief seed.
But you'd better hope that I don't slip these chains before you make it back down here.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing.
Uh-oh. Sounds like this might be something else.
She has to be bluffing, but hurry.
Well, either way, I haven't seen this one
You
before,
rush up
so
to
I'm
the first
fascinated.
floor, grabbing the blade, both yours and the world's only possible salvation. Okay. If we're sure about this decision, I'll support it. I suppose we have a world to save after all. You slowly creep down the basement stairs. It's quiet. Where the princess sat only a moment ago, there's only a severed arm, its cooling flesh still chained to the wall. And she is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, but this is very good.
Is it just me? Or did this room get a lot bigger?
Let's finish this.
Your eyes dart to the corners of the room. You don't see her.
Where is she?
I will close the door behind me, sure.
You close the door behind you. Almost magically, its locks immediately click into place. Maybe they'll open if you finish the job.
Almost magical, you say, narrator. How about that? Come on out. Let's just get this over with.
I can wait. I'm very patient.
She's on the ceiling, isn't she? Let's
You
wait.
do your best to patiently wait her out. But eventually, exhaustion starts to set in.
Come on, wake up. We can't fall asleep down here.
Let's venture into the shadows.
You step into the shadows. Too late, you hear the quiet patter of feet against the basement floor, followed by the taut pull and sharp pain of tearing flesh as the princess lunges into you from behind and drags you to the floor. Her ferocity overwhelms you, and as the princess rends flesh from bone, your limp fingers lose their grip on the blade. It slips from your hand, your one last means of defense, lying useless beside you in a pool of your cooling blood. I suppose you just lacked the will to fight back.
Is that what happened?
This is the end, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is. You shouldn't have let that fear creep into your heart. You had the upper hand, and now look at you. Everything goes dark, and you die.
That was pretty good. Chapter 2, The Beast. I think I've gotten the Beast before.
You're on a path
We'll find out.
in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
She's gonna kill me again.
Again? People don't die twice. You haven't even met the princess, and I hardly think she'd be capable of killing someone as skilled and courageous as yourself.
Hang on.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. If he doesn't remember what happened, then something else must have trapped us here.
Ooh, that was good.
You're not trapped here. Nobody's forcing you to do anything, though the only sensible thing for you to do right now is march up to that cabin and slay the princess.
Spoken like a cult leader. Yeah, let's go.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. Does a cat lie to a cornered mouse when it plays with its freedom? Or is it just acting out its nature?
Ooh, so poetic.
I don't see why that matters. A lie's a lie, and if anything, she's the one who's cornered.
She could have gotten out of there whenever she wanted to. We should trust nothing that she tells us, only what we hear and smell.
Ha! I love it. Yeah, you know, the old saying is believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. I guess it's believe all of what you smell.
That's a very roundabout way of saying that you should listen to me and take this seriously. Maybe.
Proceed into the cabin.
The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated. It feels like no one has lived here for a long time.
Actually, doesn't look that bad.
Wind rushing in through cracks and holes in the wooden walls. The only furniture of note is a termite-eaten table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Alright, so let's see. What's the... So you said there's 2 different chapter 3s from here. What's the pivot in this? Alright, we'll see if I can slay her this time.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Let's go into the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. It's still sturdy enough that you can make your way down in one piece, though you'll have to be mindful of holes. The air seeping up from below is oddly warm and wet, as if you're descending into a jungle. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
What?
She growls up the stairs.
I can smell you.
That's rude.
She sounds almost feral, impatient, or maybe eager. You carefully make your way down the stairs. The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit. The walls are obscured by an impenetrable darkness, giving the illusion that the room might stretch on forever. You brush against the wide leaves of plants that surround you on all sides, seemingly the only living things that occupy this strange underground wilderness.
Far out.
The jungle is pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be anywhere. You see only a flash of the princess before she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind her.
Ha.
Remember, she's just a princess.
Are you sure at this point you can say that?
She is certainly not just a princess.
Thank you.
You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters what she does. Her shining eyes appear between the leaves, staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you. And a little splinter clutched in trembling hands won't save you from me.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now.
Move.
You lunge for speed,
No!
picking a direction on instinct. As you land, you're buffeted by a gust of air, disturbed by the sudden motion of a massive body. The princess. In an instant, she's pounced on the spot where you would have been, her chains rattling across the floor behind her.
That's an intense visage.
Before you can blink, she's gone, vanishing once more into the shadows. But you still feel her gaze on you.
Can I not follow the chain?
You're faster than you were before, but you're still meek, reactive, prey.
You whirl around to find her, and your gaze meets hers, a pair of shining eyes peering out at you from just beyond the basement stairs.
So she's cut off our escape. Shit. What do we do?
We fight, clearly. Well. None of those seem particularly good. I'll go with stop hiding and show yourself.
If you want to see me, you should get better at seeing.
She knows that her
Ooh.
strength lies in shadows and secrets. She won't reveal herself unless she has to.
You're deflecting.
And you bear your weakness to the world.
She's coiling for another strike. Be somewhere else. We're on the back foot. The back foot keeps us nimble, keeps us alive.
It doesn't matter if it keeps us alive if it eventually kills us. We need to take back the momentum. We need to do something.
I like survive. That's pretty good. Because I feel like Play Dead probably going to cause us to die. Standstill probably going to cause us to die. If she hits us, she'll kill us. So I think survive is my choice.
Jungle, barely moving out of the way before the princess surges past you with a speed that makes her practically unseen.
Yikes. Let's try running for the stairs.
Yes, now's our chance. Quick. And then what? We need a plan. We need to figure out something. Don't plan ahead. Act on the now. All that matters is that we stay alive.
I'm with the hunted on this one.
As you turn to sprint for the stairs, you feel the...
Whoa!
You instinctively glance behind you just in time to see the princess lunge from the shadows, more unhinged and dripping, eyes fierce and full of hunger. She is too quick to outrun, too nimble to outmaneuver, too determined to overpower. This is her domain. You are devoured.
Dang.
I guess that's it then, isn't it? Unfortunately for you, no. This isn't it. You are in a dark
Jesus.
and caustic
What?
place. A thick, fibrous lining constricts around you, its slick surface impossible to grip. Your hands scrabbling uselessly at your surroundings as they compress in on you. Your lungs can barely expand in such a tiny space. Not that the humid, finite air grants you more than a few shallow breaths at a time.
What?
The liquid pooling beneath you starts to seep into your skin. You itch, then sting, then burn as the acid begins its slow work.
Oof.
When I killed you, I tried to leave this place, but it wouldn't let me. You belong down there, it screamed at me. The world is better off without you in it.
The flesh around you rumbles as the princess begins to move, her thundering footfalls twisting you helplessly about. Your skin protests as the corrosive liquid sloshes around you, but there will be no respite for you in sight. The burning grows stronger, and you can feel layers of you being peeled away.
What do you have those talons for? And where's your knife? It's still on the cursor.
But you don't belong down here. You came from somewhere else. You came from out there. So I consumed your dead heart, and I carried it in my throat, and I draped what was left of you on my back, and I threw myself against that door.
She stops, her muscles tensing around you, and through the muffling layers of her flesh, you hear the whine of straining metal. And with a pop, she lurches forward, your body lurching right along with her.
Narrator, couldn't you have just said she doesn't make it through the door?
Her chains. She's loose.
But even then, it denied me freedom. You cannot fool me by draping yourself in decay. I know your true nature, and it is suffering.
Gravity pulls at you as you're hefted upwards, the distant creaking of ancient wooden steps barely audible over the thudding of the princess's heart.
And then it was gone, and I was here. A new enclosure, a nicer cage, but still a prison. I learned from my wounds. You're alive now. We can leave together.
Does that work? Could she free herself if we're alive in here? Do you really need me to give you a definitive answer for you to understand that the situation is grim? Stop her. Do something. You still have that steel claw. Tear through her before we are her. Survive.
Hell yeah.
Or we could use it to make this quick for ourselves. If she needs us in order to leave, we could at least deny her that.
I don't think she needs us.
That is a bad thing to do.
Can you talk to the cabin? What? This is interesting. Hang on. Oh, so it's explore dig with the steel claw. I guess that doesn't work. Let's find out.
Though you have little room to move, you use what strength you can muster to drive the blade forward into the thick walls of tissue digesting you.
I can feel you tearing through me, but are you swift enough for it to matter?
Oh.
Your body is violently jostled, the disruption causing burning skin to slop from raw muscle, and you hear what you can only assume is the princess pulling against the door to the cabin.
The cage is still locked.
Yeah, alright. Let's end it. Screw
In an
you.
act of
Slice.
spiteful defiance, you pull your weapon to your throat, your shaking, ulcerous hand clenched tight around its hilt. And then you draw it across your bubbling veins. Your blood flows out, filling the tiny space inside the princess. You start to fade. A waste of a good life. It's better than giving in to her. But in the end, the opinions of stray voices mean little in the grand scheme of things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Ah, chapter 3, The Wild. Okay, cool. Whoa.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge.
Very cool.
His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that?
Who's driving this thing?
That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here? I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do?
We're part of her because she consumed us. Can she hear us if we talk?
I can hear everything, little one.
Aw.
But you don't have to be afraid of me. There's no place where you end and I begin. Nothing can hurt you here. Not anymore.
It shouldn't count as her eating us if we offed ourselves.
We're still here, though. And if we're safe, isn't that better?
I do enjoy that this one is this stubborn.
I guess this is fine. Doesn't feel half bad. Miles better than being dissolved, anyway. She ate you. And now you're convinced that you're stuck together. What a mess.
And you said it.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
This is fine. I like being this. All right. So you say, Hanapengu, talk to me about how I decide between the 2 potential endings in here. What are we looking at for that? Because it hardly seems sustainable to just stay being this. Okay. I can feel the pressure of the outside pushing in on us. What are we supposed to do about it?
We push back. It may feel like he's everywhere, but presence isn't strength. Otherwise, he would have torn us apart by now. There must be a crack in the walls of this prison. There must be a way for us to be free from him.
She's trying to use you. After everything she's done, you should be able to see that. I may not have been around to witness it, but clearly you remember what happened. How about you try remembering how it all felt?
I'd really prefer not to, thanks. I will turn inward and find my freedom. Aha, a glimpse of something bigger. Embrace your transformation.
You fall inward into a network of connections too vast for your mind to occupy. Are you a path in the woods? Are you a body? Can you even grasp the fuzziest edges of the shapes that confine you?
Hey, you don't normally last this long, narrator.
We can change to fill them together.
We don't need to be everywhere. We just need to test the boundaries. You'd do best to remember that some wounds will never heal. Some rifts can never be mended. Even in rebirth, some things never come back the same.
Sometimes dead is better, as they say.
What is he going on about? What does he know about us?
He can't make us quit, no matter how much he tries. He knows that talking's all he can do. Of course he's gonna try and confuse us. You aren't whole. You'll never be whole again. This struggle is meaningless. Whatever you think you're doing, you will fall apart.
And that sounds like the adversarial person that I seem, this adversarial entity that I thought you were trying to be.
We don't need to be made whole. All we need to do is find a single corner of his cage and break it.
There is a place you need to be. You just need to find it. Oh, I like the feathers.
You stretch and search and stretch and search, growing as you decay and decaying as you grow. As you strain beyond your limits, the ground around you becomes dry and unstable and crumbles into nothing beneath you.
Yeah, I agree, Hana Penguin. That's what I was thinking of.
This place will fall apart before you find its end. This task, whatever it is you think you're doing, is impossible. All he has are words, and words aren't real. We're real. All the more reason to keep trying. Come on, we aren't tired yet.
Yeah. Listen to stubborn Baz.
I can hold us together for a little while longer, so long as you trust me.
I trust you.
You won't find anything. If I have to starve you, if I have to sacrifice my world to keep the princess at bay, I'll do it.
Your world? But you do find something. It's cold and smooth, and it gently buckles and then cracks under the pressure of your consciousness, flattening against it.
Don't move an inch. Don't grow another blade of grass or harvest the remains of another dying creature so you can expand just that much further. Stop all of this. Right now.
I think it's too late for that, mate.
You're nicked, sunshine.
I'm at your side. Shatter it, and free us all.
Shatter the cage.
No, stop!
But his pleas disappear at the sound of breaking glass. For a moment, you and she gaze through the tiniest hole in the world at the place you need to be.
Is this what he kept from us? Is this why he made us kill each other?
It's beautiful. We need to be there. We won't be safe until we are. We won't be whole.
This was all of us, fighting as one.
The power of friendship. And then it's gone.
Where did it go? Why is everything so cold?
But You never get the chance to answer her. You turn to see her gone behind you. Memory returns.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And is that a mirror? Why is it here? Why now?
It's gonna be okay, just trust me. You've been here before, and you always get scared.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything. That thing reeks of death.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
Oh, friend, that's where we're going. I'll see you on the other side, friends. It's gonna be okay.
Okay. If you say so. We'll trust you. I'd like to be somewhere nice.
Maybe there'll be a good fight there. Maybe we'll find her again.
Oh, Stubborn, you do get your fight in one of the runs, and it's great. Let's approach the mirror. You approach the mirror. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone once again. The mirror always makes them leave, but you need to see what's in it. You've grown. You find yourself in the long quiet once again. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. That looks really cool. Approach her.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before.
Super cool.
Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Oh, I like this one. When I go back, it's as if an invisible wall closes around me. Why can I not do the same things I've done before?
Those paths lead to worlds you've already seen, and to perspectives I have already made my own. They are useless to us now, inaccessible. The only paths of value are those that are yet untread.
Untrod. What does it feel like to change like this?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
Are you the same being as you were before? How much have you changed?
Is a child the same as an infant? I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
Ooh, philosophy class. I like it. Do you have any thoughts on this vessel?
This one is like a shadow of me, twisting vines in search of answers. She will make for a curious heart. Do not mourn her. She has found what she yearned for.
That's a very positive way of looking at that one. Alright, I'm ready to go back.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Everything goes dark, and you die. Alright, an endless vessel. Bring the networked wild to her.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Okay, so we're at an hour and a half now. I don't think I can do another run in the remaining 28 minutes for Sunday Scaries, so I may end this one early.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Hang on. Yeah, let's go ahead and save this. All right. And now, let's go ahead and exit. All right, so we're calling it here. Thank you very much for tuning into the Sunday Scaries tonight. Thank you, especially thank you, huge extra special thanks to Hana Pengu for not only tuning in and being my audience, but also for providing a handy guide that will, that helped me get to all these different endings. And thank you to Art of Miziev, who also tuned in and was also in the chat. And thank you to anyone who watches the VOD later. So, until next time, good night out there, whatever you are.